What is going on, and happy hump day? I want to show you guys about the market. Look, remember I said we keep things very, very simple. I'm just going to scroll up here to show a couple of things. So, 2 o'clock yesterday, this is what we said. This is our waiting game, right? We're waiting for the VIX to lose its uptrend and pull down because this is also like a double top forming. And when that happens, we're expecting the SPX to break its downtrend and pop out, right? Explain that. Very simple. This is all we do is look for these simple type of setups, right? And then we come down here and we see what happened, right? VIX lost the uptrend and we fell from 20 down to 1746. And as a result, we got the SPY and SPX breaking out. SPX went from 6803, we're at 6867, actually a little more than that right now. Go, where the heck is that chart at? Right, we're at 6872, all because we just waited for this downtrend to break out. Now let's go to SPY. SPY is very clear too. So when SPY was falling, we started a new trend here, right? We saw a touch, we saw a touch, we saw a touch. But look what we did. We same thing we always wait for. A breakdown, right? We came down here and broke down a retest. And as soon as it claimed and the retest failed, look what happens. This thing popped and ran. We're up 10 points almost in one day on this. This is a lot of money on SPY, and all we are doing is being patient. Now we draw this trend line just to say, okay, we bounced a few times here, so this is our new support. Most people would get faked out because they'll see this drop down and they see this new candle wick down, and they'll jump in thinking we're going to have more downside. Not us. We want to wait and wait and wait to see what really happens. If a candle closes, then another one opens to pull down. Yes, but we don't jump in early. We always take that second, third motion to make sure that we're seeing things right. And look what happened. We're pushing back up. Now we probably get back to this 686.50 range. And now again, since this is our breakdown, this will be our retest to see if we break above this or pull back down again. So if you're in a call here, we're going to wait until here as our first take profit. If we see weakness, we'll get out and just reposition to run it back up. That's what we saw in that play. Let's go to Oklo. We've been waiting on this breakout for a long time on Oklo. Look what happens. We got a breakout, right? This thing ran up pretty quickly this morning, right? So 100. We got our retest now. Now we wait to see how this breakout goes. But on this retest here, and then this green candle opening, this is where you execute without hesitation. $91, even if it just goes up to 94, 95, that's still a good move. But if we come through and keep pushing and engulf this, we can see this thing run back up to these hundreds. All right. So this is a breakout or retest. Jump in without hesitation. Because even if you jump in here, once this wick starts to form and bounce, again, you still got a 4 point move. That's a good money move. And it actually ran up to 96. So you had like a 5 point move. That's a good money move when it comes to options trading. Let's go look at Bitcoin. All right. So look at Bitcoin. Boom. We had this. Listen to this double bottom. We waited for it. Boom. Double bottom here on Bitcoin. Double bottom here on Bitcoin. So as a result, we should expect Riot to be pushing up. I don't know, but let's go see. All right. Riot has the same motion forming here, kind of, as Bitcoin. We got some touches. You see this? Touch, touch, touch. Now we dropped down to basically 18. We're at 1833 here. So, but this thing did run all the way back up to 1878. So almost a buck move here on Riot. That's about what's that off of $18, maybe a 7% move on a stock. So again, 7% move on a stock, you're looking at 15, 20% move on an option, depending on where your expiration is. So that was still a good move there on Riot, even though it didn't last as long as we wanted to. Um, let's go look at Apple. Let's see what's happening with Apple. All right. This was this morning. So Apple, we came down and we got a touch here. We engulfed this candle, right? When we see this and we engulf, we just get in without hesitation. Get in. You get a bounce here, you get in and engulf, you get in, right? Worst case scenario, this thing runs up to 248. You got a dollar move. I mean, that's a little bit of bread. You might have got 5%, 6% off of that, but still, that's a good play. But if we scroll back, we'll see here more than likely that this forms, look at this. We haven't seen this level since October. Key level, October. Boom. If you push this thing out far enough, this is a play you want to stay in. We're going to stay in this play. We're not going to worry about the chop on this one. We would stay in this play here on Apple because we can see this thing run back up at least to try to fill the top of this gap here about 254. So we would want to stay in this Apple. Again, we haven't seen this level since October. Push this thing out, let it run. All right. I was surprised to see this morning. Out of all the plays that were moving, we had a target back above 100. So this is what I'm going to do here. This is going to be like an ugly trend line, but here we go. Ugly trend line on target. Boom. Trend line broke, lost a retest. So now we got to wait here again. Do we break and retest again on target? So that's what we're going to wait for is this. Boom, boom. And then we jump in without hesitation. Try to run this thing back up to 112, right? But if we catch a bounce off of 109, 112, $3 or so, about 2% move on stock, 10, 12% move on options. We don't need home runs all the time, right? They happen, but we don't chase them. So I do like that. Let's go to SPY. Where are we at here? We're at 684.90. VIX is still falling. So yeah, if this VIX comes down to close this gap, we should try to get back to the 686, 687 on SPY. We just need this VIX to close the gap and get back in the 15s, and we're going to continue rocketing here on SPY. But that's what I see for now. I don't want to throw too many things. Oh, I lied. Let's go look at gold. All right. Market's moving back up. Gold's pulling down slightly. So if you want to get into a gold play, let's wait to see if we get back down to this 439 and get a bounce here. Let's go to the left and see. Oh no, gold has some gaps. Oh yeah, I forgot we broke out of this kind of crazy. Gold has some gaps. Now, it may not happen overnight, but man, I'd wait till we come back down here to retest this 420 on gold, if I'm being honest. I'd rather miss that move up and catch it back down here on a retest and the bounce. That's my opinion. Let's go look at silver. All right, silver, we're at a supply zone. We have a channel here. I think we already talked about silver, right? We either want this thing to reject hard and come back down and touch this 81 or break, bounce, and then push through up out of this channel. So I'm still waiting, not touching silver yet. All right, that's what I got for you today, right now. We'll see what happens at the end of the day. Peace.